What, in your view, constitutes the primary threat to freedom and democracy at home?
Donald Trump. Seriously. Donald Trump uses phrases like you're going to eviscerate the Constitution. He's going to be a dictator on day one.
Lion Sacagawea, mentally ill Joe. There he is, spreading the hate-filled, venomous propaganda that led to a lunatic attempting to assassinate Donald Trump less than 48 hours ago. Remarkable. In Pennsylvania, the Democrat Party will have one talking point and one talking point only: that the 20-year-old that fired the shots was a registered Republican. My response is the Democrats organize crossover voting. I think anybody that gives money as a teenager to Act Blue, which helps to elect George Soros prosecutors and radical left-wing lunatics like the mentally ill Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who today is calling Republicans fascists. Speaking of which, Rob Reiner, Rob Reiner, he's a TV guy. Rob Reiner has his father was Carl Reiner, and Rob Reiner, who has made some he was Meathead on the TV show All in the Family. And he's got a Twitter account. He learned that the classified documents case against President Trump has been tossed out because it's entirely unconstitutional. Democrats don't give a flying hoot about that. He's a left-wing, Beverly Hills, Bel Air, lefty, limousine liberal, a Gulfstream Guevara. And he typed on his Twitter account, with Judge Cannon's dismissal of the Trump stolen documents case, he was president, he can declassify documents, we're seeing the beginning of the end of the rule of law in America. I'm going to send the FBI by to use a battering ram on his front door early in the morning. All right, I want to squeeze that in, but then I want to get back to Gene, who is calling in from Youngstown, Ohio. And Gene was at the rally on Saturday where President Trump was shot, where a firefighter was murdered. 2 other people were wounded in a mass shooting by a 20-year-old Act Blue contributor. And, if there's any question what his politics are, he shot President Trump on Saturday. That pretty much answers the question. Now, Gene, you were, I thank you very much for hanging in there, first of all. And I'm glad you went to the rally, and I'm glad you called in. I appreciate that. So you were there, and the shots were fired. You heard them. You hit the deck. You brought some.
Yeah, I'm like, I have to admit, I was like everybody else. Maybe it's because the 4th of July was just here, and my neighbors, and we're fireworks crazy in Youngstown. I got to tell you. So in a split second, that's what I thought. But then another split second, everybody was going down, and then I heard the rapid fire. I don't know. Everybody speculates about how many shots. I thought I heard 3 distinctly different shots that were like, no automatic weapon, and then the Secret Service snipers. I knew they were over on the roof to the right of me. I had a position. I was along, a big crowd. The infield filled out, and by the time I got there with my people, it was like 1, 2 in the afternoon. And so we were kind of along a pathway up against the fence. I was glad for that fence because, I'm hopefully not too much noise here. I just realized I had a window open. I was up against that fence, and I was using that fence because, it was hot. I had water, but it was kind of rough for an old man. You know what I mean?
Well, let me comment on this. I made very few notes. I usually write a handwritten note every day, and I made very few notes today. One about the Secret Service being all DEI hung up with the lady director there. But one note I wrote to myself is no stampede.
Right, no stampede.
And the crowd started chanting USA, USA after
right. I was trying to get up off the ground. It was a little hard when I stand for 2 hours. Sometimes if I stoop down, it's a little rough to get back up. So I got back up, though, and on the way up, it was USA, USA. And then people started, talking, and then we were told to get out of there. Okay.
Right.
But here's one thing. Whenever I've been to these rallies, I've been to a few where there's something that just doesn't feel right to me. And here's what it was here. That there was a pathway about, I'm going to guess and say 10 feet wide that you were walking down. It was along where the infield was in front of the podium. Somebody, I guess the people that own the place, put wet tar down about 2 feet section in the middle of that. And I got stuck. I was walking in it, got stuck in it, and there was people getting stuck in it at all the 3 hours of waiting for Trump to show, 3-4 hours, what it was. It just seemed odd. I was even complaining to maybe it was Trump aides, somebody, the suits that were walking around. I don't think they weren't black suits, so I don't know. I even complained to the state troopers about it because it just seemed like that was really going to hurt some people. There were people falling over. They were losing their shoes. It was very odd.
Yeah, President Trump lost his shoe or his shoes, too, when he was shot. Now, I don't know what to say about that. It may have been put in a couple days earlier, and it was real hot out, so it was still gooey. But let me observe this, if I could, Gene, because the crowd was there. Shots were fired, and 4 people were shot, including President Trump. A firefighter shot in the head and killed. 2 additional people shot by the sniper, by the gunman. And the crowd stayed in place and chant. I'm going to play the audio in just a minute of what actually happened, which I haven't done yet, after 2 hours. And the crowd immediately chanting USA. It was an incredibly disciplined crowd and stayed in place. When normally shots are fired into a crowd, everybody scatters like dirt in tide, but everybody stayed put and didn't run. The crowd didn't scatter. It was quite amazing, and chanting USA quite remarkable. Also, Gene, I don't know if you saw this, but I saw in some of the videos that a number of people in the crowd turned around to the news media in the back on the risers, way back from the stage, and people were flipping off the news media and yelling, beep you to the news media, blaming. And now I've got an interview with a news media person today who said, it was real scary. We're lucky we weren't killed. But people turned around knowing that President Trump had just been shot, shots fired. He's being rushed off. There's blood all over the side of his face and his head. And the press was not congratulated for their work by the crowd there. And people were flipping them off and saying nasty things to them. Did you see that happening, Gene?
Well, I don't specifically see that, but I can tell you there was a lot of angry people, and I was one of them.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I was ready to get violent with the news media or anything, but I was kind of sick, and I'm tough, but I was kind of sick. I haven't gotten rid of all that sickness that every time I think about the thing, but I'm not a snowflake either. But
well, and neither is President Trump.
A lot of anger, and in my mouth, all I can think of is this country is being run by a group of global communists, and they're influencing these young people. There's so many of them that their minds are all messed up. But I believe it might be psychotropic drugs because I had some issue with that in my own family, and. But there's not. And how about all the terrorists that Biden's let in here now? I mean, I can't, Chris. I got to tell you, I think we're in for more of this. I think it's going to get worse before it gets better, and I'm not sure what my role is in it. But I just have to. I'm going to keep going to Trump rallies. However, there was a failure on the part of somebody when it comes to security. When you look and see where he was at and how close he was, something went wrong. I hope we find out what it was.
Yeah. Gene, you are the best. You are great. You are no
Chris,
snowflake.
You are too.
And
you're right. Well, thank you for saying that. I feel tough for my age, but I don't know. I just recently was diagnosed with prostate cancer, but that ain't going to kill me either, I don't think.
You're gonna kick it out. Gene, you're the best.
I'm probably going to get a bullet in my head,
Well, the way things are going.
With all these Trump signs and everything I got in front of my house I've had for 2 years, I think that, and I've had some bad things happen. I got a woman, I finally caught her. She's dumping garbage in my front yard. Is she going to get deranged at some point and get a gun instead of the garbage? I don't know.
Right. Right.
Sad. It's a sad day in America, but we'll keep on. We're Trump strong and Trump proud Americans.
Yeah, man. Gene, you're the best.
You are too, Chris. Take care. Good luck.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks. What a great. It's Gene. He's an American. He's 77 years old. You hear that guy? He is tough. He's prostate cancer. I'm gonna go kick its ass. That is just great. Isn't that amazing? What a guy. All right, now I've got to get to audio because there's a lot I haven't, is there a lot I haven't gotten to yet. Holy cow. Rob Reiner's upset, so it's always a good day when the Hollywood left is mentally ill. Have you noticed that the Hollywood left, very vocal politically, and, the George Clooney's of the world, none of them have, not a peep out of any of them about Trump being shot at a rally. They get their news from left-wing media that downplay it and say he was rushed off stage after there were loud noises. CNN headlined about his shoes. I don't think his shoes are the lead, but never mind that. President Trump confirms that a chunk of his ear is gone. Details more injuries he received during an interview with the New York Post. Trump says he was hit so hard by Secret Service who rushed to protect him that his shoes fell off. I don't know how that happens. And I thought maybe they're loafers. And then I saw a picture of one on the stage. They're lace-up shoes. And how his feet got out of those, I'm sure they're, very nicely made, maybe custom-made shoes. He's a billionaire after all. Got hit so hard. I'll tell you what, President Trump, the gunfire started, and within 1 second of President Trump grabbing his ear, of course, the bullet gets there before the sound of the bullet gets there, because it travels at a speed greater than the speed of sound. So the bullet trimmed him his head. If his head had been turned this way instead of that way, it would have been good night, Irene. It would have been over. President Trump recognizes that. He, within 1 second of grabbing his ear, knowing something was happening here, and by that time the sound had doubtless reached him, he ducked and dropped down, not like those Kennedys. He ducked and dropped down, and within 2 seconds, the first Secret Service agent was on top of him, coming in from screen left, a second agent coming in from screen right within another 1 second or so. The panel in front of him that had the American flag bunting is ballistic protection. It is bulletproof. But off to the side, no. And they didn't have the big plexiglass screens up around him, which sometimes they do. But the former president said he wanted to keep speaking, but obviously he had to leave. He was talking to the New York Post, talking about his shoes falling off, multiple injuries. The Post says the New York Post says a small chunk of Trump's ear is gone, which was protected by a white bandage during the interview. Trump also showed the New York Post a large bruise on his forearm that he got from hitting the ground. They took him out with one shot right between the eyes, Trump said. They did a fantastic job. And I was saying earlier, one shot, one kill. Apparently the counter sniper, it was one shot, one bullet. And that put him out of his misery and out of everybody else's misery. President Trump said he would be attending the funeral of the firefighter that was murdered there by the killer. So President Trump says he will be attending the funeral of the man that was killed at his rally, Corey Compatore, who lost his life at the rally. Trump also praised the attendees at the rally for staying calm. I love them, he said. They're such great people. And honestly, we were just talking, to Gene, and you hear how calm he is, how great he is. Man, and it's true, there was no stampede. People weren't running. Everybody stayed in place. The president had just been shot. He was bleeding. He's being rushed off stage. And the crowd didn't panic. The crowd stayed put and fixed. And the sniper took out the would-be assassin, the gunman. And the crowd was amazing. And, the fact that they turned around and were flipping off the news media on the risers there. And wait till you hear this audio of the scaredy cat news person. Got that coming up, and President Trump and the actual incident itself, which I haven't played for you yet, but I will. You know that the best-selling Eden Pure Thunderstorm air purifier uses Oxy technology that helps to quickly destroy a whole lot of different viruses and odors, mold, and a lot more in your air, your home, your office. Thousands of glowing 5-star reviews online. Works like a champ. We've got 2 of them at home ourselves. Any smell will vanish after just a few seconds with the thunderstorm being on. Talking about litter boxes and trash cans, cigarette smoke, dirty diapers. Even leftist protesters are no match for the powerful Eden Pure Thunderstorm, which sends out O3 molecules. They seek out and destroy odors. It's a wonderful thing. These molecules even go behind and under furniture. Nothing can hide from the thunderstorm. And no filters to buy and replace over and over again. You can hold a thunderstorm in your hand. They're only this big, like this. And saves you money, saves you hassle. No filters. Come on. Right now, you can save $200 on an Eden Pure Thunderstorm 3-pack because you hang out with me. This is good for a whole home protection. You get 3 units for under $200. You can put one in your basement, your teenager's room, bring one to the office, make one a gift, anywhere you like to have clean, fresh air. All you have to do is go to EdenPureDeals.com. EdenPureDeals.com. Use the discount code Chris and the number 3, Chris3, to save $200. That's EdenPureDeals.com. The discount code is Chris3. Yeah, I've got a lot to get to and very little time to get to it all. So stay right there. The incident itself coming up. 1 shot, 1 kill by the Secret Service counter sniper. The bullet entered under the gunman's left eye and exited his neck behind his right ear. Entry wound under his left eye, exit wound behind the right ear. That's because he was laying flat on his belly, on his chest, in a prone position with the rifle. I'm posing right now like I have a rifle in my hand. And so he was laying flat on this roof. And I have some audio I want to play for you of witnesses who saw the guy crawling around on the roof. And there are a lot of questions. Hopefully there will be a lot of answers, too. And the Secret Service director, the chief lady in charge, talking about her DEI priorities. She's got a program at the Secret Service she calls 30 by 30. They love these little things like that, real rhyming things and cutesy things. 30 by 30. By the year 2030, she wants the Secret Service to be 30% women. 30% women. That's what she wants. Can some of the women be men? Because, it's kind of complicated. All right, important stuff coming right up. All right, now let's get to the ABCs here, to the basics. I'm going to call it soundbite number 1. This is President Trump speaking at the rally on Saturday in Pennsylvania. And as he's speaking, they had a big screen TV setup, which they don't normally do, as I understand it, for Trump rallies. And it was to President Trump's right, to screen left if you're watching it on TV, stage left if you were there in the audience. And President Trump was making reference to the big screen, which had a couple of graphics up on it. I think it was about illegal aliens, the numbers of illegal aliens up on the screen that he was talking about. And President Trump was turned to his right, looking at the big screen because he was talking about the slide, the information, the data on the big screen that the audience was looking at, the crowd was looking at. And that's when the shots rang out. And it seems like maybe there are 3 in quick succession, and then you hear that the caliber of the gunfire changes, and different weapons are returning fire, and that's when the counter sniper, 1 shot, 1 kill, put one just underneath the left eye of the perpetrator, and it came out basically beneath his right ear, went in under his left eye. And if you think about the angle on that, if he's laying in a prone position with a rifle looking through a scope or looking at the sights, it makes perfect sense that that would be the entry wound and the exit wound. Now, let's play the audio here, and this is the moment that it all happened.
And then the worst president in the history of our country took over, and look what happened to our country. Probably 20 million people. And you know, that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old, and if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
Listen to all that return fire. One woman. Sure, now President Trump, the first shot.
Hold, when you're ready, on you. Ready, move.
Secret Service.
Hawkeye's here.
Hawkeye's here. And moving him out, and there's a lot to talk about, the videos and the president, and he's pumping his fist. I don't think we could hear him say, fight, fight, fight. He's pumping. Now, again, he dropped within 1 second of his ear being clipped by a sniper's bullet. He quickly grabbed his ear. It was obvious to him what was going on. He dropped to the ground within 1 second. Within 2 seconds, the first Secret Service agent was up the steps onto the platform and on top of the president. Somehow his shoes came off when the agents kind of piled on. A second agent came in from behind the platform and the right and was on top of the president, shielding him, putting themselves between the president, the former president, and not just the sniper that at that moment we now know about, but the possibility that there are others as well from different positions. You know, the Secret Service training would have, okay, and that guy perhaps has been taken out, but don't assume that. And maybe there's another one on another rooftop or in a tree or in the crowd or sneaked in somehow. So you've got to protect from all angles and. So they then brought him down the stairs, and the president said, get my shoes. You don't want to walk away without your shoes. You need shoes. Put him in the back of an armored SUV. There were 3 female agents there. Everybody was dressed the same. Dark suits, white shirts, open collars, and real hot out and everything. And one lady agent who, left-handed, had her pistol in her hand, and she's whipping around. She went to wing her jacket back and put it back in the holster, and she missed the holster about 4 times and then just decided to keep the pistol out and pointing it around. But it was a truly remarkable moment. And I'll tell you what, the photographers that were down front for the beginning of the speech got some truly amazing photographs, and the news media has been corruptly editing. The New York Times and the Washington Post yesterday had the photograph on the front page, that both of them had a front page above the fold picture of President Trump being rushed off the stage, off the platform. And the amazing picture where he's pumping his fist and there's blood running down his face and he's pumping his fist and he said, fight, fight, fight. Because, that's his instinct is not to cower and, boo-hoo, poor me. He immediately, just the fight comes out, and that's why Donald Trump was elected president, and it's why he's going to be elected president again. Pumping his fist, saying, fight, 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 and the giant American flag overhead that's lofting in the wind, being held up, I think, by 2 cranes, or at least one, I think maybe 2 cranes. A big flag, and the picture is just amazing. And it is one of the most iconic political photos in the history of the United States of America. Lefties today are calling for the photographer to what? To be killed. lefties are saying this photographer who created this iconic photograph online, lefties are calling for the photographer to be killed for creating such an amazing and iconic photo. Now, honestly, they're very proud. Now, the photographer should be very proud of it. It's truly amazing. The agents bringing President and the photographer was in the perfect position. The news media made up stories about it being a shard from the teleprompter glass panel, which were completely intact, as any school child could see. They just made up stories all over the place. They got headlines saying President Trump rushed off stage like a coward after loud noises are heard. But Evan Vucci put out the photograph. Republican presidential candidate, former President Donald Trump, raises his fist as he is rushed off stage after an assassination attempt during a campaign rally in Butler, PA. The Associated Press. Just an amazing thing. And lefties are such mental cases. Every lefty is mentally ill. The first tweet following on this is actually hands praying emojis. The next one, Anders Thim Valstead, says, looks very staged. Looks very staged. They're such mentally ill people. What happened to you people? What's the matter with you people? Teacher Dude says, it will become an iconic image. It was instantly one of, and maybe even the most iconic photograph in American political history. No kidding. Man, oh man. David Head, lefty. Sadly, the photo is also a gift to propaganda. It is likely to become notorious for that reason. The photo is disturbingly ambiguous. There is absolutely nothing ambiguous about it all. You people are out of your minds. But it is an absolutely extraordinary photograph, truly amazing photograph. And it is iconic. And I've got to say, I was texting with friends all weekend long in New York and here, my Newsmax friends, my radio friends, my neither radio nor TV friends. And I said, I got to tell you, Donald Trump's story, his life story, is an almost impossible story. It's almost incomprehensible, his life story. And it's like something out of mythology, out of Greek mythology. It is a mythological tale, and Saturday just sealed the deal on that, can I say. So extraordinary what happened, the way he handled it, and it's Homeric. The ancient tale of Homer. It is one of the most extraordinary and heroic stories. And this is why the left is really bitter and angry about the photo, and they want to murder the photographer, because they see that this is likely to elevate his stature, his standing. It is an iconic, instantly iconic photo, political photo. And man, oh man, just extraordinary. And they want to kill him because they're insane. I do love the fact that people in the crowd turned around to the press and flipped them off and yelled, beep you, beep you. Amazing moments in American political history. Yeah, and yesterday, the New York Times and the Washington Post, they both used the photo of Trump coming off the stage and pumping his fist with blood running down, and they cropped out the American flag. They both cropped out the American flag. Why? Because they knew that the picture looked too heroic. So they corruptly, deviously edited out the American flag. Man. Yes, sir. Yeah, and the gunman donated money to Act Blue, registered as a Republican, shot Trump. I think on balance, that makes you a Democrat and not a Republican. This crossover voting is a scheme the Democrats used. I'm going to say, obviously chose that option. I'll be willing to bet $1 on that. Man, oh man. Register as a Republican to vote against Trump. I think that that is going to be the explanation for that. It's kind of amazing that our news media, they're not clamoring for the social media from this guy. Where's his social media profile? All right. Now, also, while the president was being rushed off stage, this is vitally important. The crowd didn't scatter. The crowd didn't run. There were shots fired. 4 people had just been shot, including Donald Trump, rushed off stage urgently, frantically by the Secret Service protective detail with blood running down his face, blood on his hand, pumping his fist, saying, "Fight, fight, fight." And the crowd stayed put. Isn't that amazing? What else did they do, Michael? What a crowd. What Americans. What great people. What a great moment. What an extraordinary moment that was. 4 people shot. 1 man shot in the head, the firefighter, and killed. 2 other people shot and wounded, in addition to President Trump on stage. And the crowd stayed put and chanted USA, USA. What a great, great moment that was. We didn't do number 2, right? The Secret Service, as the shots were fired, and shooter down.
Are we good? Shooter's down. Are we good to move? Are we good to move? We're clear. We're clear. Let's move. We're clear. Come on.
Let me get my shoes. Let me get my shoes.
I got you, sir. I got you, sir.
Let me get my shoes, sir.
Hold that in your head. It's bloody.
So we got to move to the car.
Hold on to your head. It's bloody.
Let me get my shoes.
Let me get my shoes.
Watch out.
Wait.
Trump says, wait. He stopped. He wanted to show the crowd his face and pump his fists. And he said, fight, fight, fight. It was an amazing moment. It is the stuff of mythology. It is the stuff of legend. The photographs are iconic, and he is Homeric. It is an extraordinary moment in American political history. One of the most extraordinary moments, I would say, ever in American political history. Just an extraordinary time. And for the Republican National Convention to be starting today in Milwaukee, President Trump, also we're hearing now a couple of things, that the vice presidential pick will be announced today. And we're hearing something else. There is an additional security detail at the home of J.D. Vance, Senator J.D. Vance, including ATF and state police. Now, those are clues. Doesn't necessarily mean, but it might. Gosh, I'm looking at the clock and I feel terrible. I need 3 more hours today. I could just stay here easily for 3 more hours with all of the material that we still haven't gotten to. The news media is trying desperately to label this gunman, would-be assassin, as a Republican and a conservative. The Philadelphia Inquirer found someone, Max R. Smith, apparently a high school classmate or something, who said he definitely was conservative. No, conservatives don't take shots at Donald Trump at political rallies. Conservatives don't donate to Act Blue. But leftists do register as Republicans at the insistence of the Democrat Party, at the suggestion of the Democrat Party, in order to vote in Republican primaries to try to, monkey wrench them. So that explains the registration. Going around saying, oh, he's a registered Republican. No, you don't give money to Act Blue and then register as a Republican if you're a legit Republican. And you don't shoot President Trump in the head at a rally if you're a legit Republican. They just want to muddy the waters, confuse matters, just like they did with Lee Harvey Oswald, starting all the conspiracy theories immediately after the incident itself.
I just want to say, though, that this shooter, he was a registered Republican.
He also donated $15 to Act Blue in 2021, which is an odd thing, but he was a Republican.
No, he was a Democrat who registered as a Republican to monkey wrench the system, and then he shot President Trump. I honestly wish that I could stay for 3 more hours today. I've got too much to get to. All right, let's go to what number? 25? 25. We've got, like, how many? 40 sound bites today? George Snuffleupagus, longtime Democrat political operative and White House official, Capitol Hill official, with Martha Raddatz yesterday on the ABC television network.
In some ways, this is a horrific symptom of the underlying division in this country.
You think?
It certainly is, George, and I'm sure that will probably continue. We saw President Trump raise his right hand, as John just described, and we've seen those pictures. But we could also see him say what I believe was fight, fight. That was his first instinct.
Isn't that great?
This is a country divided.
What is, apparently they're upset that he pumped his fist and said, fight, fight.
We heard J.D. Vance, Senator J.D. Vance, who is one of the leading picks for vice president, in a tweet say, this is not just some isolated incident. The central premise of the Biden campaign is that President Donald Trump is an authoritarian fascist who must be stopped at all costs. That rhetoric led directly to President Trump's attempted assassination.
J.D. Vance with extra security around his house today. We're going to learn who Trump's VP pick is. Is it J.D. Vance?
President Trump and his supporters have contributed to this violent rhetoric as well.
Well, absolutely, George. We were just looking back this morning at some of the things that former President Trump has said. He warned last March of potential death and destruction if he were charged by the Manhattan District Attorney. They always misquote him.
Just amazing stuff. These people... They're trying to pin the tail on the elephant in this case. They're trying to blame Trump's rhetoric for Trump being shot by a would-be assassin. Honestly, you people, you need a new blend of medication. You honestly do. The fun people at the Babylon Bee say Trump indicted for inciting assassination attempt.